What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Mirror Matchup Mondays that are being casted on Saturday and probably being posted on Sunday. This is part 2 of Gangster Brain's Mirror Matchups, and what better way to do this than to have him play Mr. Jose. He does not have the best record on my channel, and I don't feel like it's going to get any better after this game. So let's deep dive into it. We have Brain here at the top left position, and unfortunately for Mr. Jose, he will be directly underneath him, where nukes and drops will be a determining factor. And if the game goes that long and Brain doesn't just crush him too fast, will definitely be something that Jose is going to have to be concerned about and spend some extra time and minerals preparing for. Brain is going to go for a depot quicker than Jose, a double barracks before Jose, and is going to scout before Jose. So Brain doing a bunch of small little things that will get him a little bit of a lead. However, his economy may be a little bit worse since he is going to have one less SCV collecting minerals, but Jose is going to trade that little bit of extra mineral income for information. Both players going to go for a 2 barracks gas. This is a random versus random, so both players do not know the other race, and they will have to scout in order to know for sure. Brain is going to skip the corner spot and go for this. This is something that is a common scouting pattern, as you do want to scout if your player is a Zerg player, and it's just a little bit quicker to go in these side spots than those corners. However, if they aren't in one of these side spots, you have wasted a lot of time here. Jose is going for a very quick academy, which is a more standard 2 barracks build, and Brain is skipping that academy and just going for 2 barracks, which is a little bit interesting here. He must have a plan here. It must be a quicker factory. I assume it has to be a quick factory here. His first Marine is going to locate Jose. I think they did cross paths there. Perhaps, maybe not, I'm not sure exactly. But they are going to know now for sure what each other's race is. A very aggressive factory here. Brain going to keep that Marine alive as well, which is another important factor. Or just one of those small little things that is, yeah, just awesome that Brain just always does. Just keeping every unit alive that he does need. An academy is going to go down now for him, and he did cancel that factory for a bunker. So he did, I think he assumed that his opponent was a Zerg. He does get this SCV in as well, which isn't going to get the most information. He isn't going to see the exact barracks count, so he's not going to know exactly what he's up against. Both players opting for that bunker just in case something insane happens. And now Brain is going to be lifting up his barracks. So I wonder if he's going to be landing it for a fire bat. A push here, going to throw down a double factory for him, and just going to be confident that he can hold on the single barracks. If Brain so decides to pull a stim stacked SCV attack, Brain could be vulnerable. 3 factories going to go down, though. He is a player who's not afraid to take these kind of risks as well. Also, he is not going to float them over. He's just going to lower them down here. Interesting decision. Not exactly sure what that is about, but I'm not going to question Brain's decision making. Second bunker is going to go down, as he does know he is a little bit vulnerable to some kind of attack, and Jose is going to throw down 2 more additional barracks. So he's going to be 3 barracks ahead of Brain here. It looks like he's going to just try to break him with a Marine, Medic, Stim, and range push here. His range is almost done, so he is starting to move out. This is a pretty standard timing attack for Terran players, but don't know how well it's going to do versus 2 bunkers and a little bit of a depot there to mess with the AI of those Marines here. Opting not to get any vultures, just going to go straight into the tanks. Now he is lifting up these barracks here. Just got a couple more Marines there, just in case. Yeah, it's going to float these up. May make Jose react to that, as he doesn't want them to land. Firebats are a possibility. He is going to get that Marine range as well, so the Marines in these bunkers are going to outrange the attack from Jose. Going to have one uh, barracks up here for a site, and then he's going to scout with the other one up front here. Going to come in here now with his stim Marines here. Going to come in here and try to stim up versus these bunkers, but bunkers are pretty good versus a Marine medic, but he may be able to actually get some damage done. Another bunker is going to get down now, and Jose is actually breaking this a little bit. Tanks and vultures, though, coming out, I feel like it's going to be more than enough to defend this attack. That bunker does finish just in time here. Both vultures do fall down here. Only one single Marine in here. More Marines are reinforcing. Two more tanks are coming out, so maybe Jose will actually defeat Brain here, which would be a big time upset. He is going to get siege mode, luckily for him. Siege mode could be good here. We have a lot of SCVs here stacking up. He is going to actually have to pull the SCVs here. Another tank does pull out here. Is going to be quite the tight push here. Jose has a great amount of minerals. Is going to get his second tank sieged up here a little bit farther back here. He was in a little bit of danger here, but now that he does have siege tanks out, I think he may just be okay. Going to micro these vultures as well as he can, getting vulture speed out. Doesn't have widow mines here, but he does have 3 tanks out here. One tank looks like it is going to go down. Not ideal for Brain, but still, Brain is just going to have to buy himself some time. Try to get as many pot shots off as he can with the siege tank. The Marines are trying to run by here to start attacking the FCVs of Brain. 4 of them do get by with 2 medics here. A dropship is out for Brain. He is going to target these once again. Brain forced to stack attack, but luckily for him, he does pick that off without taking too many casualties. More Marines are reinforcing here. Brain really applying a lot of pressure and knows that his time is running out as his factories are just completing now, and these numbers are only going to get higher for him. The tanks are in the dropship, and he is going to go for a counterattack, and I think once he takes out these SCVs, I don't know if Jose is going to be able to stack attack in time. Going to try to go for it, and actually is going to get up there, only losing 5 SCVs there, so nicely done. Nice stack attacks from both players here, and actually going to be able to take out 2 more siege tanks, leaving Brain again a little bit vulnerable here to some kind of counterattack. Microing these vultures like absolute boss, and actually no, he is going to pick this off. These tanks have an incredible amount of range, and with the vulture micro, he is going to defend once again here. Trying to reestablish a bit of a choke here, trying to get some barriers out just so the Marines can't continue to stim in. Confident that he does now have enough at home to defend with the vulture numbers, and is going to once again go over for a tank drop on Jose. Once again, going to siege up, get a nice shot off there. Got 2 SCVs again, not the most amount, 2, maybe a 3 or 4 there. But all of these SCVs are injured. They are going to be able to be repaired by medics, but we do have the double dropship out now. 3rd dropship being built, so he is just going to be going all in with these drops. 2 tanks and 4 vultures now going to come in here, and I don't know if the stack attack is going to work. These are all fairly weak SCVs, and yeah, he is just going to take them out fairly quickly. The vultures being able to one-shot most of them, and only 15 SCVs remain for Jose here. While all of this is still alive, going to start throwing down those widow mines, just going to make this even more difficult to clean up. And yeah, it's just not going to be good for Jose here. Going to get crushed by Brain. Once again, I don't think Jose has ever defeated Brain, and they have played a lot of times here. Yeah, Jose not going to give up, though. He does have a pretty decent-sized bank, but I don't think it is going to matter. Throwing down his triple command center is Brain, and Jose actually going to call GG here, and the Brain going to just dismantle Jose fairly easily with a fairly risky, not so standard build here. Only getting the 2 barracks with a very late academy. Not something you see very often, but Brain, like he does with almost any build, makes it work and makes it look OP. Going to take that first win in our mirror matchup Monday. Cast it on Saturday, probably going to be posted on Sunday or Monday. And you can see that 300 APM as extra. Brain one of the most ghostly plans that have ever been created, defeats Jose no problem. Game number 2, we got John Wick, aka Vulture, who we have seen recently in that last series, versus Brain, once again going to be the white Terran in the top middle position. Once again, this is an RVR, as is most of the SCW games. Rarely, I think in the PvP games that I'm going to be casting later, they actually did pick Protoss with Protoss is the most commonly picked mirror matchup, if there ever is one. Hardly anyone decides to play Terran vs. Terran, Berserk vs. Berserk, just not something that happens, as disappointing as it may seem. As they can be a little bit crazier of matchups here. First Depot going to go down just slightly earlier than Vultures. Is it a little bit earlier? 160? No, a little bit later than Vultures. So Vulture actually going to get his first depot up here, and then I'm going to follow up with a quicker barracks as well. Brain a little bit delayed on that barracks. I wonder if he's going to throw down a gas, or if it is just going to be the double barracks opening here. A little bit weird, a little bit slower than the last game, unless John Wick is just going crazy fast on top of his game here. But both players not going to do anything too crazy, not going to go for that scan Terran opening, which I think is going to become more popular now that it's proven to just be super powerful and completely viable versus any build from your opponent. Just so dangerous. I've been experimenting with it myself, going for the depot gas, one single barracks, throwing down a bunker if you need to, just back here with a little bit of wall here, so you can scout and stop a whole surround by any zealots, and then going for those vultures to be able to pick off probes so cannon push can happen, while also killing off the zealots. It can be a little bit more difficult than Vulture actually makes it seem, but it's still very, very viable. Not seeing anything too crazy out of these two players. Gas actually going down, and then in Academy. So a more standard build here for Brain, and it looks like now they are finally going to get the first glimpse of each other. The SCVs are going to pass, and this Marine is going to come in here and see exactly what he's up against. It looks like he was on a patrol scout there, a control scout, and isn't actually going to run into Brain's base, so he's not going to see exactly what Brain is doing, but he is going to know what the matchup is. We'll see exactly how they decide to respond here. He is going to be down one single Marine, but looks like it's going to even out here, pulling one SCV to attack here, while he decides to get a bunker up, and he's going to continue to rally. So he is going to be applying a lot of pressure. He's going to stop that bunker from being thrown down here, and he is going to try to push forward. Vulture, though, should be okay here, as he does have the defender's advantage, where his units are just going to be able to be rallied out so much quicker here, and he's going to get a nice little surround here, going to micro some of these injured Marines back, and is going to prevent this from getting in any farther. Brain, though, is macroing like a beast back at home, getting stim. Both players now, going to start their stim here. It is always a question. You can go for the range, which sometimes will work out if you can get it, but if the stim attacks before your range, it could be problems. It also depends if you're attacking or defending. All of those can factor in, but stim is the safer. It is a little bit quicker. Nice to get your stim out because it is just pretty good. Range, though, can't argue with that decision. And look at that, the range is actually being upgraded. Did he upgrade that right away? I don't know if I just misclicked that or what. But stim is going to be done for Brain while range is here. So we're actually going to see how the delayed of the range can be troublesome. It is worth a risk. But no, it looks like he didn't have stim here. But he's going to have medics out. He's going to have that choke. And he is going to be able to not die here. His factory is a little bit later than Brain's here. Brain does love to apply this pressure here. He is actually giving up his choke here. I don't know if I like that too much. He does have to be careful. He has a little bit of a positioning war. Doesn't want to engage and lose, or else it's just GG here. Brain, also knowing that that's the case, is going to back up here. It is one of those risky things to do. Second gateway, or fourth gateway going thrown down here. 2 additional, 4th and 5th for Brain here. So Brain is going to be applying a lot of pressure to the Terran player. The Terran player, though, is going to, I guess it's not Terran player, the range player now John Wick is going to be coming up here, trying to attack here, but range versus stim with the defense is going to actually look like going to go in range behavior. Some of his medics were out of position, and Brain is going to clean all of that up. With no bunker back at home, this could be trouble for him. One bad engagement, and yeah, you are not going to be good. I think that was a little bit premature there, trying to go in with just range instead of stim. I don't even know if Brain bothered getting range. He does definitely have a stim. He's going to pick off this machine shop, which does have a siege mode, which is going to delay him a lot. Still no bunkers up at home. Going to continue to rally in here, I imagine. Just picking off that SCV, which is building that bunker. Not going to allow it to finish, and then continuing to win this war of numbers that can just spiral out of control in these matchups. That's why it is always just such a scary mirror matchup. Especially if you're going to try to attack, you have to be really careful because it could be a death sentence, and Brain going to take that fairly easily here. Nothing too spectacular there, just one little misstep from John Wick, aka Vulture, and yeah, he is going to... You can't do that. You cannot make any mistakes versus a player of Brain's caliber because he will capitalize and he will destroy you. So well done by Brain once again, making quick work of John Wick in that TBT. And we'll jump into another one. That is a good thing about Brain. You can throw in 4 or 5 of his games and it'll still only be a 30-minute video because Brain does not go into long games very often. We got Brain on another tag here. So these are from all sorts of seasons. I did have to scour all of his seasons to find all of these mirrored matchups as they just occur so infrequently. This time, Brain is going to be actually in Gangster. I wonder how much Jose paid him to join, and he is going to be up against Mafi. Not sure who Mafi is exactly, what his AKA is, but must be pretty good if he feels like he's up for the challenge of Mr. Brain here. Brain going to be in the left position versus the right position, so they are going to be cross spawns, and they are going to have a little bit of banter here, asking if they have the anti-hack. Using mini, not W launcher. All things I'm not sure if people use anymore. They were people had to have them. They were necessary. Chaos launcher as well. Those things people had to have before they could participate in the league, because it does prevent hackers. And if you do hack, you can check out their logs and their clicks and everything to see if they were, to see if they were like doing suspicious clicking. If Gangster was clicking over here before he scouts or having any vision over here, you knew it was probably going to be a hacker, as he's clearly looking over at his opponent's base to check out what's going on. Brain, though, going to go for that 3 barracks, nothing too crazy. Once again, very standard stuff here for him. And Mafi going to do the same. I imagine we're going to see a gas and a depot being thrown up as well. And then we'll see if he's going to go right into that academy, or if he's going to do some crazy float of the barracks once again. We'll see also the pattern of their scouts. It looks like the first Mafia scout is going to go up, and yeah, both players going to scout on top of them. It is important to know if there is someone on top of you so you can place your command centers and plan accordingly, because you know that your opponent will most likely try to abuse your spots. Going to send his first Marine out to scout, and so is Mafi. So this mirror matchup is being mirrored pretty nicely here, but it actually... No, okay, never mind. Where did you... Oh, yeah, you built the second supply depot there, as opposed to right here. Both players now are going to see each other, that it is Terran versus Terran. Brain going to not waste any more time going in that direction, as he sees that SCV is scouting up there and is just going to skip that location, knowing that it is most likely not his home base, as why would you be sending an SCV from somewhere else up into your own base. Going to just get that little read, and you just get that little bit more advantage. Also, seeing that SCV up there is going to try to pick it off, but is going to be a little late there. But another little thing that Mr. Brain will try to do, he tries to keep all of his units alive, while also trying to pick off as much as he can, just so he can slowly gain that advantage, knowing that he has such a high APM that he will not be making too many mishaps. And if he can just get himself a small little lead, then he can surely capitalize on it, as we've seen so many times before. Deciding to throw a bunker down, both players did have their factory thrown up. Brains is a little bit faster than him, and both players still on one gas. Brain's going to go for that contain here. You can see even his marine spread is very nice here. He did go up there and pick off that SUV. This other marine may get a scout off, but now that his bunker is up here, we know for a fact that Mafi is not going to be able to escape his base. He is officially contained, and with that information, Brain is going to be able to lift off all 3 of his barracks and start transitioning into full factory units. Marines do not scale very well in the later games in Terran versus Terran. Unless you're going to go for some kind of push here, it is just not going to be effective. And we see a nice little micro battle here with Marines, but this bunker is going to get up. Not close enough unless he does get a quick range here, but I don't see any academies anywhere. Still on a single gas here. Second gas and command center going down for Brain, as well as 2 more factories. So he's going to go right up to 3 factories. Not going to waste any more minerals on those Marines, and he's going to start meching up right away. These barracks, I imagine, one's going to be used for sight, and then the other 2 are just going to be placed around the map. The most common path that dropships or anything else will be out. Maybe even using one for vision, and then even throwing one into scout. Wouldn't be surprised there. Doesn't have any academy, so not going to try to land them for any kind of fire bats. Just going to just going to use those as floating scouting to get those siege tanks and vision on the map here. Command center being thrown down by Mafi, and still only on a single gas here, and just going right into starport. So looks like Mafi is going to go for some kind of drop play, I would imagine. That's what that looks like. As on one gas, I'll be amazed if he can afford it. I guess without an academy, without any stim or medic on there, you are going to be okay, but the first siege tank is up. And it's actually going to put that barracks on top of the siege tank. Going to make it very hard for Mafi to try to click on that siege tank to target it down. So that's another little go-through thing that Rain does that just puts him on that next level of incredibly skilled player. I like that. Just small little things here. You can see the 2 barracks going to be over here, just trying to get himself as much vision as possible. We can see how nice that is here. Going to just be able to see those ledges. Not going to let those tanks get any kind of surround here. An engineering bay going to mistakenly get too close to these bunkers and going to get some hurt on. And more tanks are going to start reinforcing. That first tank does lose the battle to the very low HP of Brain's tank, and just like that, suddenly Mafi is in tons of trouble. Going to have to start throwing his barracks back here. Going to empty out these bunkers and start moving forward, picking off all of those Marines here. And suddenly Brain is just in a 20 supply lead without too much happening. Just those little decisions that just make him just so effing strong here. 3 factories and now double starport. Going to start building race too. So just another great decision by Brain. Mafi's still only on a single gas, so he is panicking a little bit here. No floating buildings either for Mafi is not going to allow his tanks to be in range, and Brain's tanks are going to be outranged. The other advantage of those barracks floating up here, he's moving them, inching them forward too, just to maximize those tank range all the way around here. Just incredible play here by Brain, and these tanks are going to be able to move forward, and with these numbers, none of these tanks are going to stand a chance here. Going to get mad damage off as they pop out, and Brain making it look easy, going to take that. Also has a follow-up plan while pressuring, just so incredible. Every single game of Brains just amazes me. Yeah, he's just so effing good at this game. One of the top players in StarCraft, and the fastest player I've ever seen in my life. Just incredible stuff by Brain, making it look easy. Opponent Mafia, easy peasy in 7 minutes. Can anyone last 10 minutes against Brain? I don't know. It's tough. We got Mr. Gangster Brain here. Top middle position versus X3 Fizz in the bottom right position here. Going to be quite the distance for it, and Fizz does have a pretty good position. We'll see if he can live long enough to capitalize on that and maybe get himself some kind of advantage versus Brain's non-stop pressure and just what seems to be map hacking like decision making abilities here. Always interested to see his openings here. If he's just going to go for the 3 barracks, I would love to see him go for the factory opening here. It is still possible. Depot, if he gets the gas next, then we know it's a factory build. But, yeah, only time will tell. This SCV will tell us the story that we need. Yeah, not going to go for that. So it looks like he's going to go for at least 2 barracks here. What we've seen before. Of course, this is a random versus random. I feel like I do have to say that every single time, so they don't know exactly what they are up against. Okay, no, he is going to get that second barracks now up as well. We'll see if he gets a third one or what. I'm going to wait for that SCV to move out of the way so he can get that up. It's nice to know that that happens to players like Brain as well. And we're going to see, yeah, the gas timings. Third barracks coming up for Fizz, so standard stuff, and third barracks. Okay, so it is going to be, once again, just the standard 3 barracks build. Going to get that depot and then gas, and then we'll see if he decides to get the academy. We have seen him skip it, and we've also seen him scout earlier before. Not scouting this time, not with any of his SCVs. Maybe now going to throw one out. Usually after that first barracks, you do send that the first completed barracks SCV out to scout. You can see that is what Fizz is doing. Going to go for the down the middle scout just to make sure there isn't any mid build out. And then going to go over to the right here to check those side spots. This Marine is actually going to go beside him and see exactly what's going on. Again, the cross map. Just wanted to see if it's a mid build. You do want to prepare ASAP if that is the case here. And yeah, as a mid build was what every single Protoss in the world was doing at one point. Now it's almost changed completely the meta of the Protoss, where they're getting a gateway, or not a gateway, a nexus first. It went to a 3-gate or 4-gate mid build to a nexus first, as you just have to be prepared for that unless you get a full scout off, which we are going to get here by Brain. Brain does somehow slip through all of these Marines while I was talking, only taking a couple hits, and it's good to see exactly what he's up against. Going to see the gas count, going to see that there isn't any command centers, going to know exactly what's going on. He's going to respond by throwing down the academy of himself and going to start coming out here. I think he does want to move back to his choke to prevent any scouting from going off, as he knows that it's maybe likely that the scouting, or he doesn't, okay, maybe he doesn't know the scouting timing. That would just be next level goes if he did pull back just to kill this SCV. The SCV of Fizz is going to come in here and is going to be able to see exactly what is going on. Brain is going to, though, go right for the attack here. Going to see that there is a bunker up, and that bunker is going to prevent him. Also, while all this is happening, he is keeping that SCV alive here. The SCV of Fizz is going to die, so just one of those little things that can make such a difference here. Seeing all the timings of your opponent is just so helpful. Keeping this SCV alive is just what those low money ghosts seem to do so well. Even just going to run away and just last long. He's even going to see that he is getting an upgrade from the academy. Going to see that command center. So just all that important information that's just going to help his decisions be that much more crisp here. Fizz going to pray for a re. Brain's like, what? Why would we re here? TVT is one of the best matchups. We're used to it in low money because people don't just go random, because mirrors are annoying. Come on, Fizz. Yeah, Brain. I like TVT as well, Brain. That's why we're doing TVT Tuesday, posted on the Sunday. That's why we're doing it, Brain. Brain going to throw down his triple command center, and he is going to lift off his barracks once he gets this contain on here. Once he knows that he is safe for the most part, he is not going to waste any more time here. This is just really good to know here. People are always afraid of drops and everything. Not Brain. Brain is going to be able to lift that up. And luckily for Fizz, he does have actually a Marine out on the map here and is going to see exactly what he is up against. And yeah, he's going to have to turtle it up. Getting the third command center down himself as well. So doing a good job here and actually going to pick off a single SCV that was building that. So 4 factories are going to go down here. We're going to get those ComSat stations up. ComSat, not ComStat, which someone in the comments so kindly corrected me on mispronouncing, which I've been mispronouncing for now over 10 years in my whole life of playing StarCraft. He is going to get these barracks up for that Gosu tank range here, which is just can change the tides of the battle in these tank versus tank fights, which are inevitably going to start happening. Going to start that armory up right away. Brain on 4 gas versus only 2 of Fizz. So Fizz going to lift up his barracks as well to get some vision on those sides where drops are a possibility. Is my webcam still covering my face? Am I still on webcam? Yes, I am. Good stuff. I'm leaning a little bit forward. That's why I had to check here. Brain is going to see that that barracks is out and is actually going to pull a bunch of his SUVs. We do hear a couple of scans going down around the map here. Brain going to get his 5th gas while Fizz gets his 4th gas. You can see Brain is up by 10 supply here as well. Going to pick off this barracks, and now he is going to scout with this barracks to see if the other barracks is floated out here to see if he can pick that off as well, just to get himself all the advantage that he can get. 2 starports going to be thrown down for both players here. 4 factories, 2 starports versus 4 factories and 2 starports, but Brain is a little bit farther ahead as the supply shows. Both players getting their armories down. Brain, though, going to start that upgrade right away as he does have the gas to do it. Fizz, no joke, all X3 players are extremely high level. We do not recruit any nubs. I guess it's not we anymore because I am not technically in X3 as it doesn't really exist anymore. We kind of died down for some reason. Double dropship's going to be coming out for Fizz, so it looks like Fizz is going to try to drop here. Going to get scanned though while Brain decides to throw down 4 more depots. He does have a good contain on here, so he's not going to be worried about anything coming out from the front here and is going to be able to focus on just mapping up these raids. Doesn't look like he's going to go for anything too crazily offensive, which it looks like he possibly could do. None of the tanks are at the front here. He must know that with his scans here. 2 more dropships are being loaded up. And a bunch of tanks coming down here to the side. Maybe to go on this corner and to be able to start picking away at that choke. He does have the range with these barracks here. Looks like that is what he's going to do. Going to go on that side to start destroying this chokes. He has to know that there's no tanks up here. And the first 4 tanks are in dropships and are going to be starting to load over here, but there are Marines here which are going to be able to pick that off as well as some Wraith, and that is going to put him even farther down in supply here, while his choke is also going to go down with no siege tank siege up there. Down 2 siege tanks. Fizz is going to say, nice, not in a very great position this early on. Yes, I like TVT, Brain says. Brain likes TVT. Fizz, being a good sport, is going to GG, knowing that, yeah, he is going to be screwed here. Going to be down in Wraith and tank supply. Not the most climatic of finishes, but Fizz going to be a good sport. Doesn't like mirror matchups, clearly. And, yeah, he can just tell that he's in a rough spot here. So yeah, that's going to be GG. I would have liked to see those tanks or that drop maybe go for a counterattack, put some pressure on Brain's economy. But I don't think they are going to have any spot to go out, as Brain did have pretty good coverage on the map and is going to be able to take that once again fairly swiftly. I feel like Fizz could have lasted over 10 minutes. If he knew that was an achievement, he probably would have done that, but just going to GG out and stop that slow torture. Brain, who likes TVT, who likes mirror matchups just as much as us, is going to win that game. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And yeah, just going to continue to impress all of us, and especially me, Tony G. GG, guys. We'll see you on PvP Monday, or what did we just say? TVT Tuesday? PvP Monday. Doesn't quite have the ring to it, but yeah, we'll see Gangster Brains PvP versus. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see who his opponents are. There's a little bit more PvP to pick from, as I think he did agree to play more people PvP than he did any of the other matchups, just because it's just not a thing. TVT or VVV, you just don't see it as often. Not many games played. I think that was pretty much all of the mirror matchups that weren't PvP that Brain played in all of his seasons. I will try to scour for some more of those if you guys liked it. Put in the comments below if you guys like these mirror matchups or not. If you're like Fizz and just don't like them and want to re-right away. Because they could potentially have these late games if you aren't as aggressive and smart as Brain. But yeah, GG guys. Hope you enjoyed Gangster Brain Africa TV Brain, the StarCraft fastest god himself, the best player that I've ever seen play fastest. GG guys, and we will see you tomorrow. Later.